Hi everyone, today we're going to hear from Kerry Guyette. She's the De Pere High School Athletics Secretary. She's going to share 3 titles from the same author with us.
Well, Mary Roach writes with great passion and humor. She has written about 7 books, and most of them relate in some way to the human body. Well, this is Mary Roach's most recent book. It's called Grunt, The Curious Science of Humans at War. And she talks about the science behind keeping men and women alive in war. She explores things such as what soldiers wear and how scientists and people in the military do research to figure out the best possible clothing items to not only keep them comfortable and cool, for example, in places like the Mideast, but also to protect them as much as possible. She even goes into how maggots have been used in healing battle wounds, and that they're actually quite beneficial because they eat dead, decayed skin. Another chapter she deals with is in a military submarine and explores what it's like to be that far under the ocean and what it does to the body. Another subject Mary Roach explored in depth was outer space and her book Packing for Mars. And she started by giving the history of the US versus Russia race to space, who would be the first to put a human into orbit. She also does chapters on how astronauts train. For example, they have to practice using a toilet that's 4 inches in diameter, because that's what it's going to be like in space, and how they eat some not so tasty foods when they're in space because everything's dehydrated and dried. And what happens when astronauts don't bathe for long periods in outer space. She also explores whether it's worth it to go to Mars and what scientists are researching as to how to make that possible, whether it's affordable, feasible, and dangers of the journey would be. Stiff, one of the first books I read by Mary Roach, and that hooked me because she explores human cadavers and what they're used for. You probably know you can donate parts or all of your body to science or to the medical field. And what do they use cadavers for? Did you know they're used as crash test dummies in some situations? There's a chapter that explores the possibility of human head transplant. And it might sound like a very morbid book, but again, Mary Roach writes with such passion and humor, and she really does her homework. Any of these books would be very entertaining. You don't have to be interested in science, because I'm certainly no scientist, but I love her books. And they're all available at your local high school LMC.